Okay, now what we can do in this portion of the uh, uh, assembly here is we can actually jump into the assembly environment. So from Part Studio, we're going to jump over here to the assembly, and I'm going to immediately go up to Insert Parts, and what I want to do is go ahead and insert Part 1. That's going to be the back plate, and I'll drop that into the assembly area. I'm going to grab my Part 2 and drop that into the assembly area also. Go ahead and hit the green check. Now, what I want to do next is I want to anchor this so things aren't going to be floating all over the place. And what I like to do is just find that center point, anchor it to that. So what I'm going to do is find that fasten constraint there, and I'll spin this thing around, and I want to find the back center of that part, and I'll spin it this way, and I want to find there it is. I want to find a parallel surface to work with. So go ahead and select that, and what that does is it jumps and puts this into position so that when I want to say I want this to be into an isometric view, I can then know exactly what isometric view it's going to look at. So when I get into doing the exploded views and the rest, it's all going to work perfectly. Okay, so with that set up, next thing I can do here is I can go ahead and start adding the rest of the parts to this assembly. And what I want to do next is I want to start adding this arm to this back plate. Now, you want to look and see, well, how does this fit together? And what it should do is it should be flush with the bottom and the top, and this arm should seat itself, so this corner should seat itself into this corner here, into the shoulder. All right, so what we're going to do is, again, we'll grab that make constraint, and I'm going to go right ahead and see if I can grab that point here, or what we can also use is the back center point. So either one of these is probably going to work out just fine. I'll go ahead and grab that back center point and then flip this thing around and then find, say, the center point of that area. Once I put this all into position, you can see things get really flush quick and fast. It's easy to put things together. Definitely kudos to OnShape for the fast and easy assembly constraints here. All right, so with that done, the first arm is in position. What I can do now is go ahead and grab my second arm here. We'll go ahead and grab the same one from my parts and do the same exact thing again, where I grab my constraint. I'm going to zoom into the back of this, wait till it finds it, grab the back center, spin this thing around, and I'm going to go up here and grab center. And it jumps and slaps it into position, and we're all set and ready to go. So we'll accept those two constraints. Now we'll start talking about fasteners and adding our third piece, our third different part, into our holes in the back. Okay, what I found to work seeming the best here with OnShape and with other areas as well, other CAD programs, is to go right out to the internet and search for fasteners from a supply house. So McMaster Carr is really sort of what has been my go-to supply house for some time now. McMaster Carr generally gives CAD images that are either AutoCAD files, also available in different file formats, but step formats, so that they can be solid models also. So I want to go in here and search for drywall screws, and things pop up pretty quick and easy. And I'm really looking for a simple high hold screw joining drywall to wood. This is probably a pretty standard application, I would say, for a bike rack to be installed. Let's see here. So high hold screws joining drywall to wood. I'm really not joining drywall, but drywall screws are used for so many different applications. So here's your 2 1/4. I'm going to go ahead and grab that. And here's a high hold screw drywall number 6, 2 1/4 long. That's going to be the screw I want to use. This product detail tab, that's the button I really want to grab next. So after I grab that button, I can slide down through here. It's a Phillips head, I know that. But I come down here, this is what I really want to see. This is the multi-view drawing. This is the view of the drive. This is a number 2 Phillips drive, and then you can see the information, the length of the screw, all of the thread information. here. So that's the one I want. Now what I'm going to do here is pull this down, and you can see you can pull all these different models. What I found to work best is just this step model, and then I save. So I go ahead and I save this out to my computer, and then I want to take that file and I want to upload that file into OnShape. So I'm going to jump back into here, and then I need to go to little plus button over here where it says import, and I want to go ahead and hit import. Then I find what was just downloaded. This is my download folder, and there it is, high hold screws for joining drywall to wood. Grab that, hit open, and it's going to allow to import to OnShape. Import to this document, combined to a single part studio. We're going to go ahead and hit import to this document and hit OK. All right, so it's giving me a notification here. That's all good, and I can close these notifications here, close that up, and I can come down and see that at the bottom of the screen, well, here's the screw. All right, so it should pop up here shortly. It's working, there it is. So there's the drywall screw that I'm going to utilize, okay? So going to my assembly right now, and then I want to go to my insert tab and then come up here and grab my drywall screw. So I put this into the drawing, and now I'm ready to go ahead and start adding these to the particular hole. So close this out and take a look at this drywall screw. All right, that's all fine and good. And probably, since this isn't going to move, this is going to be a stagnant drawing file. I can actually probably just mate this thing because I want it to be flush with the top of that countersink. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my fasten tool. I'm going to grab the top ring of the Phillips, and then grab the top ring of my fastener hole. And that is a really quick, fast way to go ahead and insert. Since it's not coming in, it's not coming out, I'm really not checking interference right now. This would be a really quick way to go ahead and create and install all of your fasteners. So we'll go ahead and just go ahead and grab the rest of these things, because we're going to need a few of these in here now. So that's 4, 5. That's all of them, okay? And now we just start mating them up. So we'll go ahead and mate that top ring to ring. That's good. And then we'll run around this drawing like so. Whoops. Don't do that. That one didn't go right. Clicking too quickly here. So we'll go ahead and grab. Well, make sure that little glyph shows up there on the center. That's important. And then we'll drop that there. Okay. All right, pause the video, got the rest of those put in place. You can see that I have them all there now. And now we're ready to go ahead and set up, here's my isometric view. We're ready to set up the exploded view. So to do that, we're going to grab this tab over here. That opens up our exploded view drawing area over here. And now we can start pulling our parts apart here. So we're going to add an exploded view. And the first thing I want to do is start selecting the parts to move. So I actually want to move both of these at the same time. So I select them, grab the arrow that I want to move, and then I just want to make sure things do not overlap. That is the key, all right? Things should not overlap in an exploded view drawing. So with that set up, they're in a good position. So I can go ahead and select the remaining screws here, and then I can just move this and pull these out the back. So they're coming out the back. Those are in a great position. And so now this exploded view is finished. These are quick and fast. Before I exit this exploded view, what I'm going to do is I want to go ahead and set up my bill of materials. Now, some things that we want to do here with the bill of materials is we want to make sure we have item number, quantity, part number, and a description. So description I don't necessarily need. I want to get rid of description. Remove that from the column. Part number, I don't need part number. Remove that. Let's go ahead and add back in though. Let's add in the name of the part, and let's also add in the material for the part, because we're going to want to know some information about those. Then we'll have to talk about, well, where do we go to get this material to show up? Because right now it's showing none, none, none. Well, obviously there is. And then how do we get these and rename these? So we'll go take care of that now. All right, so we'll hit done here, finish up that exploded view. And let's jump back here to the Parts Studio. And this is where we can go ahead and we can actually name our parts now. So this is the arm. So I'm going to right click on that. I'm going to come up here to rename and we'll call this arm. All right, that's done. Then we're going to come here, right click, and to a, whoops, got both selected there. Right click and rename, and we'll call this back. Or let's call this wall. Okay, wall plate. There we go. So now we have the wall plate and the arm. We can go into the assembly, and then we should be able to come over here, and you can see there's the name for wall plate and arm. Okay, and you can still see that that screw here is not changed. We're going to go and change that now. So here, we'll select that file, and there's the part over here. So we'll right click on that, and we'll rename this as drywall screw. And then we'll jump back into the assembly, and we can see that that updates. So that's all good. So now let's get our material worked out. Back to our part studio. Same thing, right click on the part, and we should be able to find assign material. There it is. And since this is going to do this out of wood, type in wood and just grab some birch for that. Good. And the same thing here. We'll do, got them both selected again. And we will rename assign material. There it is. And wood. And we'll call that birch also. All right, good. So we'll jump into here. This drywall screw. We'll get that a material. That's going to be steel. So there's a ton of different steels. So we're just going to find, not stainless steel, we'll just use steel. Okay, so now when we go back to the assembly, we should have, there we are, we got material, we have a name, that's all good to go. So when we actually set up our multi-view drawing, that'll show up. Okay, so I believe we're pretty well set to start putting drawings together from all of our modeling.